Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Katie Ray, and today we're going to be talking about products that are discontinued or as we're speaking, about to be discontinued. And sorry, when I say products, it's actually, we're going to be talking about specifically eyeshadow palettes. I know that everyone's a little fatigued with eyeshadow palettes right now, but I can't help it. I love eyeshadow palettes. My channel's new, so give me a break. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about eyeshadow palettes that are discontinued that I wish I had. Like, I'm not saying I'm dying, that I'm gonna die without these, but there's something that really intrigued me and I kind of wish I had. We're gonna be talking about a palette that kind of inspired this video, like the palette of all the discontinued palettes on this list I want like the most. And okay, like, you know, I don't know if you guys know the site Poshmark. I'm sure a lot of you do know. I have stalked Poshmark a lot looking at different eyeshadow palettes, but I've never bit the bullet actually purchased them because I have this fear of getting even gently used makeup. It freaks me out. I don't want to get eye diseases. And I also am really scared of getting like a fake palette. I know it's so ubiquitous, you know, getting fake ones, so I'm really scared of that when I'm not buying from an official site like the brand's website or Sephora, Ulta, you know. So this palette just came and went, it felt like. I was even like into makeup at the time that this came out, but it came out so quick that literally I didn't have time to even, I saw barely anyone talk about it. This is the Too Faced White Chocolate Bar palette, not the White Chocolate Chip palette. That palette is ugly. But the White Chocolate Bar palette. I don't know why, like, I just think it's fucking gorgeous. Like, some people might think it's boring, but I think it's gorgeous. There is some really beautiful shades in there that are bright, but also, like, even the browns are very, like, cool toned, and lately, as a lot of people are, I'm kind of fatigued of warm, you know, palettes. I've been a lot more interested in cool tone palettes. I think this palette is perfect for that. I've never been like super into getting the the chocolate bar palettes from Too Faced, except for one that I'm going to talk about. The rest, like the chocolate bar palette and the bonbons palette, I just haven't been as interested. Oh, except for the chocolate gold palette. That one is beautiful. But like this one is what really calls my name. Okay, let's get into the shades real quick. I love the freaking lavender cake shade. Oh, gorgeous. The mint chocolate chip one. Oh, sorry, it's not mint chocolate chip, it's just mint chocolate. The frosted apricot, raspberry rosé, cake batter. Like, they're all, literally, I can make all of those work. It's just gorgeous. Like, oh, I want to get it so bad. So I'm going to keep it within the brand since a lot of these palettes I'm going to be talking about are, it's down to just a couple brands. So in the league of Too Faced, we're going to move on to the next one. So another one that I can live without, like, it's not a huge deal, but I think it's really, really cute and I wouldn't mind getting, is the Too Faced Eggnog Latte palette. I don't know around when, I think it was kind of like mid-2010s that this came out in the holiday season, obviously. And the eggnog palette in particular, like, I love the actual, like, eggnog shade. It's like a really cool toned gold. I think that's beautiful. I also really like that forest green in there. It kind of reminds me of a Christmas tree. And, like, well, you can pretty much just do one look with this palette. I still think it's really cute. Even like the Peppermint Mocha palette that came out at the same time is really cute too. I like the purples in there. The other chocolate bar palette that I was mentioning that I really, really like, besides the chocolate gold and the white chocolate, is the semi-sweet bar palette. The chocolate bar palette just doesn't really interest me. Like, I wouldn't mind having it. I've just never felt the need to go out and buy it. It's too basic for me. But for some reason, the semi-sweet one really does call my name. I love the matte peanut butter shade. That's gorgeous. I love the blueberry swirl, the pink sugar, the caramel, the bonbon. Like, all, like, this is a neutral palette, but it's like a really spiced up neutral palette. So anyway, I think it's really cute. I saw it in a TJ Maxx like recently, and I feel really stupid not getting it. Like, I talked myself out of it, and you know, it was, I want to say it was like under 35, I think, and I know this isn't gone completely, but it's pretty much gone from Too Faced's website. Well, it's not gone from Too Faced's website, but it's obviously being phased out. And yeah, it's really cute, and I wouldn't mind having it. So the next eyeshadow palette I'm going to be talking about from Too Faced is the Natural Love palette. Normally I'm not one to get suckered into packaging, but my goodness, like, the packaging on this is just so beautiful. I love like the cherry blossoms and the little bunny in the tree. Like are you fucking kidding me? But the palette itself is really cute. Like, if the palette was completely ugly, I wouldn't get it just because of the packaging. But I love especially the left half of the palette with all the pinky shades. That is gorgeous. And you can even do the ones on the right to, you know, deepen it up and stuff. And I do like that the color scheme really does match the outside of the palette. So when you open it, it's not like this big shock, like, wow, that doesn't go with the cover. It does, with like kind of the whites and the pinks. But yeah, I think it goes for like 60 some dollars now, which is kind of crazy, but you do get a lot of eyeshadow. This is definitely one I would not mind having. Okay, so the last Too Faced palette I'm going to be talking about is the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. And this is one of those that I'm not super crazy about, just because it's only 6 shades, you know. And they're kind of tiny pan sizes. But it's a really cute color story. I love the purple sparkly jelly shade. I love the peanut butter shade, of course, and I love the peanut brittle shade. Even the ones on the right are really cute. And you could probably just do a couple looks with this, not just like 1 or 2 looks. It was kind of expensive when it first came out. I think it was like $30-something, which is kind of a lot for not getting a whole lot of product. But I would definitely grab this for like $20, $15 or something. And I'm really sad. I know it's not completely discontinued yet, but it's being phased out as we're speaking. Now the peanut butter and honey one, you might be wondering what I think about that one. It's okay. I wouldn't mind having it, but I'm not as crazy about it as I am with this peanut butter and jelly palette. The next brand I'm going to be talking about is Kat Von D. And wow, we could do a whole video practically on Kat Von D eyeshadows that are discontinued that I would really enjoy having. It's probably why this video is going to be kind of alone. Yeah, Kat Von D really likes putting out those limited edition palettes. Especially, it seems like the only ones she ever keeps permanent are like the Shade and Light palette, which is cute. Like, I wouldn't mind having that. But you know, it's a neutral palette. All the colorful ones she seems to take away. And while I do respect brands that say something's going to be limited edition and then it really is limited edition, that's not lying to your customer, you know, it still makes me, it's sad that we don't have it. And, you know, obviously if you go to like Poshmark or something, it's going to be really expensive usually. Okay, without further ado though, here's the first palette. This is probably the palette of all the Kat Von D palettes I'd want the most that's discontinued. This is the Pastel Golf palette. Wow, it's really cute. It's not just like a rainbow palette. It's actually like, you know, obviously it's in pastel shades, which, you know, pastel shades are pretty known for, you know, they're going to be lighter looking when you apply them. They're not going to be super deep because pastels are naturally light. But it's just a beautiful color scheme. Even the white and gray in the palette I think is really cool. And you can do so many looks with this, and it's such a beautiful palette. I wish I had it. Okay, the next palette I'm going to be talking about from Kat Von D is the 10th anniversary palette. And this is the most recent one that she put out that has been discontinued. And it's really pretty. Like, I could have picked it up at the time, like, whereas most of these Kat Von D palettes I'm going to be talking about are ones that came out before I was super into buying eyeshadow palettes. This one I had the opportunity to buy, and I let it go. And like, I still, like, I don't need it now, but I still think it's really pretty and unique. And it's not just a rainbow palette, like it's definitely like, I kind of like that it's a little bit darker toned and there's a lot of shimmers in there. And the packaging is gorgeous. Like, this is definitely something I would not mind having. And what is a discontinued eyeshadow palette video that someone would really want without mentioning the Mi Vida Loca palette from Kat Von D? This is one of the most notorious products that's been discontinued that people want really bad to come back. And while I kind of prefer the pastel goth, I think this palette is also really gorgeous. I like how there's also neutral shades in it too. It's a really pretty palette. You could do so many freaking looks with this. It's just gorgeous. But yeah, it goes for like something like $200 or something now, which probably means I'll probably never get it unless I somehow acquire a bunch of money in a short amount of time. I'm likely to get this, and especially since I mentioned that I'm really scared of using used makeup. I'd rather get something that either has never been touched, has been lightly swatched, maybe used once, but other than that, I don't really feel comfortable with using like, oh, used a few times, don't use it now, or like ones you can actually visibly see people have dug into it. It just makes me feel gross looking at them. And this is like such an iconic discontinued one. Like, if you have it, like, it's like a thing. Like, people, it's really cool to have one of these. But yeah, I wish I had it, and it would be kind of nice if any Kat Von D palette came back that's been discontinued. I think it's this one, as not for me personally, but for everyone collectively. I think people would really appreciate that. If Kat Von D wants people to start liking her brand again, which I'm not saying she necessarily deserves, I'm just saying, if she brought this back, that would draw a lot of newfound attention to her brand. Okay, and finally, this is the last Kat Von D palette I'm going to be talking about. This is the Serpentina palette, and it's really pretty too. Like, it goes for like $75 or something now, which I wouldn't really feel comfortable spending with how broke I am. But I definitely think it's really cute, and I would not mind having this. Especially the shades like Bloodsmith and Medusa, and Venom. Like, oh, so freaking gorgeous. So the next brand I'm going to be talking about is the AB8, is Anastasia Beverly Hills. And as far as I know, I don't think they've been making palettes for a super long time. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, until recently, I always assumed that the Modern Renaissance was their first palette. And I'm addicted to watching palette declutter collection videos. So, as I remember one day, someone like had the World Traveler, the Self-Made palette. And I was like, oh my god, what is that? Like, I've never seen that Anastasia palette before. And I got really excited. And so the first one I'm talking about is the Self-Made palette first. There's a lot of really gorgeous shades in there. Like Blossom and Buttery, Hot Chocolate, Isla, Sherbet. All of these are really flippin' cute. Yeah, I would not mind having this. So the next Anastasia palette I'm going to be talking about, actually, I think the last one, yeah, I'm going to be talking about, that I felt like really deserved a mention, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills World Traveler palette. And I think I like the Self-Made palette a little bit more, but this one is also really gorgeous. I love the yellow shade called Metallic, Intense Glaze, which is that pink, and that blue shade called Azure. In Spoiled, I would use all those colors. The only repeat it looks like is Pink Champagne. Even when I'm looking at this picture right here, it looks a lot more gray than the Pink Champagne that's in the Self-Made palette, so I don't know what that's about. I'll have to investigate it, but otherwise they're not repeat shades. So yeah, it's a really cute palette. Okay, so the next brand I'm going to be talking about is Marc Jacobs. And this one's a little more iffy because I've never actually tried Marc Jacobs eyeshadow formula. The only makeup product I've tried from Marc Jacobs is their like lip liqueurs, and those are really pretty. And I've heard nothing but good things about Marc Jacobs shadows. I know Tarte really likes them, like they're always displayed in the background of her videos. My boyfriend doesn't like these. He thinks they look like paint by numbers things, and I tell him to shut up. But yeah, here's it seems like there's multiple Marc Jacobs palettes that have been discontinued, unfortunately. And I mean that's okay because there are some really beautiful ones that they still have. But this one I came across a couple nights ago called The Lover. And this one's really cute. It's like muted pinks. It kind of reminds me of the color story of the Too Faced Natural Love palette. And yeah, I think that one is really cute. And there's another one that's kind of similar to this one that I'm going to bring up. This one is kind of like The Lover's smoky sister. This one is called the Lolita palette. Yeah, and this one's really pretty too. It's really basic, but like these were just something I came across last night when I was doing research for this video, and I think it's really pretty, and I think you could create some really nice looks with this. So the next Marc Jacob palette, the last one I'm going to be talking about, is the best one I'm going to show you. This one's called The Siren, and honestly when I first saw this palette, I almost thought it was like a mock-up that someone did, because it just seemed very out of the box from Marc Jacobs' normal palette designs, especially since usually it's like a black case and this one's a white case. And yeah, I really like the colors in here. I know it's kind of a rainbow palette, but you don't have a pink or purple in here, and these just look so stunning and cute, and you could do lots of fun looks with this. And this is just a fun palette. Like, how could you not want this? But yeah, it's really cute, and I'd like to see Marc Jacobs come up with something similar to this again. Now I just have 2 more palettes left that I'm going to be talking about, and they're both from different brands. These are kind of like bonus items. Okay, so this is from BH Cosmetics. This is the Carly Bible palette. I think the first one's really cute too, but I really like the deluxe version. That's the one that calls my name. And I know it's really silly to be like, oh, I missed out on this palette, because I'm sure so many people have this palette, you know. I've seen it in declutter videos and stuff. But when I was thinking of maybe buying this palette, I went onto their website not too long ago, and I couldn't believe it was gone. Like, I know it's been out for like 2 years now, but I still was really surprised to see this palette gone, since I know it's pretty beloved by people. And you can't find it on Ulta anymore. Like, I know you can find it on like Poshmark and stuff, but it does really suck that I can't just buy it from BH or Ulta now. And it's kind of a basic, boring palette, but I love the pink shades, like the muted pinks and mauves in here. And I do like that it's not just like, there's only like a couple brown shades. It's mostly like those oranges and really muted browns and pinks. I also like that there's like 4 highlighters in here that would work for my skin tone. Also the marble packaging is really flippin' pretty. And I know that this sold for a really low price point. It was like less than $25, which is a really good deal. Okay, while I was doing kind of like video research on palettes I might have missed that I would like to include in this video that I've never seen before that I suddenly want, I was kind of looking at MAC a little bit. MAC is really overwhelming though, because they've done so many limited edition collections. But one that really struck me as being really cute. I know it's kind of gimmicky, but I think it's really cool. I heard someone mention that there was a Simpsons collection. I was like, hold the phone, there was a Simpsons collection? Yeah, and sure enough, I looked it up and I was like, wow, this is really flippin' cute. They kind of made it centered around Marge, which kind of makes sense because she's kind of like the main woman in the show. I know you could do Lisa, but Lisa's kind of, she's playing kind of a child, you know, so she's not wearing makeup as much, I guess. But yeah, I think the color, like, they're really small palettes, but the eyeshadows are super cute. Like, I love the pink and purple and blue one, and that green one is really unique. I always want more like blue and green palettes because you just don't see those shades represented enough, so I really like that this is an all green tone palette. Yeah, so I'd like to see if I can ever snag this up sometime, because I know it's really gimmicky, but I think it's really cute, and I'm sad that I missed out on it. Alright guys, that completes this video. I know if you're an avid beauty lover and watcher of makeup YouTube videos, you've maybe seen a lot of these palettes, but for those of you that haven't seen a lot, I hope there's maybe something on this list that you've never seen before. Now I also am having you suffer and want these palettes too. But yeah, I think it's really fun to talk about. I really am interested in like lost media. I know a good amount about like silent films that are lost and stuff, and I love watching stuff on lost media. So the fact that I was kind of doing, this is kind of a makeup lost media video, because these are palettes that are quickly disappearing, you know? So I thought this would be a really fun video to do, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, hope you come back to my channel. This is Katie Raye. Bye.